What's going on, Reject Nation? It's Greg over here.
And it's John over here, eh?
We're gonna review the movie Poor Richard the Cowboy and Dead Men Tell No Tales. But before we hop into the review, we wanted to give a shout out to our friends at MovieChat.org.
Movie Chat is the largest online community for discussing movies, TV shows, actors, celebrities.
This site was created following the shutdown of IMDb's popular message boards that happened earlier this year.
They're here to fill the void, and they have a lot of movies, a lot of posts, pretty much anything you can think of.
Tens of thousands of users already. So if after watching this review of Dead Men Tell No Tales, if you want to discuss the movie even further, or any other movie for that matter, click the link to Movie Chat in the description box below. Alright, on to Dead Men Tell No Tales. Okay, so we did our retro review series of the first four. We finally made our way to watching Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah.
With almost every YouTuber not liking this film, Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 35%. I'm here to tell you, I kind of disagree. I actually enjoyed this film quite a bit, I'd say. I had a rollicking good time while I was watching it. I wasn't like on the edge of my seat. It's nowhere near as good as the first two.
It's not
like nowhere near. It's not great.
It's not great. It's not necessarily a good blockbuster, perhaps. But you know what? I had a good time, especially at the end of a long marathon. I thought it was better, more enjoyable than 3 and 4.
That's probably the biggest takeaway that I had for it was I think I only enjoyed this film as much as I did because I saw 3 and 4 like the day before. I saw 3 2 days before this and 4 the day before, coming off of 2 really bad films. And then going into this, you can't help but notice it's a definite improvement. Part 3, I think the majority don't like it, and I feel like some people might say that this is not better than Part 3. I personally found this much easier to enjoy throughout. It's significantly better than Part 4 because it actually goes out of its way to direct and capture and edit the movie with actual style throughout the film. Humor is really present. I thought I laughed a good amount of times, and they got new cast members that I thought were great. You know, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I don't know why people think it is. People are like, we don't want to mention the guy who plays, who Brenton Thwaites plays. We don't want to give away who he is, but they say his name in the credits, and it's pretty obvious who he is when you see the trailers and featurettes, and some people kind of reveal who he was.
It's not really a secret. I mean,
especially when the movie starts off, it's not a reveal. It's the plot.
Like the prologue of the movie.
Minor spoiler. You kind of got to go into it.
Is it a spoiler?
It's not a spoiler.
It's about his kid.
Look at it's Henry Turner. It says his name on IMDb.
The second you hear the name Turner in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, like you're gonna make that association. It's not that big.
Looks like Orlando Bloom, you know. Orlando Bloom's in it for a tidbit of the film.
So if we spoiled that for you, sorry.
Sorry, but it's not a spoiler.
Really a spoiler.
No, it's not.
They don't treat that information like it's some grand revelation when it finally comes out.
Now, there's other reveals in the film that are definite spoilers if we talked about it. There's other major reveals, and there's one reveal where I didn't see it coming, and I thought it was handled quite well, involving Jeffrey Rush's character, Barbossa. And that's all I'll say about it. Even that's not even really a spoiler. I could even tell you that, and you're probably not even be able to guess what it is when you're watching the film, actually. Let's start off with some positives for the film. I thought, unlike the other ones, this film had some sequences in here that I thought were exceptionally fun to watch. You know, there's a scene in the trailer that you see where Jack's about to get his head chopped off, and that the way that entire sequence plays out is really entertaining, it's really funny, and it's shot really well. And another thing that people are commenting a lot on are the shark scenes in the film. And the shark scene is fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I thought the shark scene
really
was
damn good.
Part 3 didn't really expand the universe much, but Part 4, sort of added at least a couple things, and I liked what they added here as well. You know, like you mentioned the shark scene, but also I liked Captain Salazar, played by Javier Bardem and his crew. Like, it's kind of the same concept we've seen a lot of times.
Dead pirate.
Yeah, dead.
Who hates Jack Sparrow.
Pirate with some kind of curse played by a great actor. But the designs and that character and their story I thought was really cool, and I thought they added a flavor. Like, I like that these movies take advantage of the globe, and have different kinds of people from all over the world, as characters.
I would put it up there. I would say, I mean, this might not be saying a lot. It's kind of like when you say Alien Covenant is like the third best Alien movie. This is like the third best Pirates movie in my opinion. After watching 5 of them in a row, I can confidently say Pirates 5 is the third best one.
In terms of watchability.
Yeah, in terms of watchability, enjoyability, and even rewatchability.
It definitely has a lot more soul than the fourth one, and it's definitely a lot more focused than the third one. I feel like they're slowly getting... If Pirates 4 was their shift into making more blockbuster, Hollywood-style Pirates movies, they've gotten a little bit better at it with this one, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as people have been making it out to be. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not great.
Yeah, it's not great, and but it's certainly enjoyable, and there's a lot of fun to be had. Like Javier Bardem, he's a really good villain in the film. He's not exactly in it throughout, but he's really good. Captain Barbossa. Well, I always like that the films always go out of their way, specifically with Barbossa, to make him different, a little different in each installment. He's always cunning. He's always has his own interest at heart the most. He's selfish and he's a pirate. But they always change up his status and where he's at in life much more than they do, especially more than Jack Sparrow. There's always a different type of position he's in.
I always feel like he's the most consistently interesting thing over the course of all of these movies is Barbossa, for sure.
And Jeffrey Rush nails the role again. He does a fantastic job with the character.
He always shows up, man.
Yeah.
And he's always good. Like, he always seems like he's having a good time, even if, the material is less than what it was before.
And the two main newcomers, Brenton Thwaites as Henry Turner, I thought he was very natural. He definitely, they cast, if they're looking for the person to be the son of Keira Knightley, you're like, yeah, that is the guy. He looks just like them. Yeah, and he does a really good job in the film. The trailers make it look like he'll probably have a lot more screen time than he actually gets in the film, but he's still really good, and he's natural in the film as well. I enjoy when he's there. Mm-hmm. And also the other girl,
Kaya Scodelario?
Yeah, playing Karina Smith.
I like her a lot.
She's really good.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
I thought
We're in a day and age where women are kicking ass in films, people.
I thought, she was kind of the standout new thing about this movie for me. I thought she had a lot of charm, a lot of charisma. I thought her story was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I liked...
And her performance is really good, yeah.
Yeah, I liked watching her a lot. In fact, in terms of just straight-up performances, I thought she was one of the best things about this movie.
Oh, totally. That's easy.
Her and Barbizzi up at the top. And Javier Bardem, too. Like, they're all bringing a lot of A-game and a lot of personality.
Yeah. And I could feel the effort of this film doing its best to harken back more to the first one.
In spirit,
in terms of spirit and tone. And I like the plot of them looking for the trident. Is it Poseidon's trident? Poseidon's trident. Yeah, they keep taking, popular, sea mysticism, legendary tales, and throwing them into this Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Yeah, I mean, the point seems to be, what if all those legends were real?
Yeah. And I like the plot of what Henry Turner's motivation is. Okay, fine. How about that? We won't give away everyone knows Will Turner's kid, but we won't give away what his plot is necessarily.
You can probably figure it out pretty well.
But everyone's looking for the trident for very specific reasons, and Javier Bardem, Captain Salazar, is after Jack Sparrow for very specific reasons as well, which they can kind of reveal in the trailer. Jack Sparrow did something that caused him to pretty much be cursed the way he is.
Yeah, although it was nice to be a little bit surprised just because I didn't know the nature of that character. I thought he was just a pirate guy. I'm not going to get too big into it, but I thought it was kind of a nice surprise to learn about those characters and where they came from, because they're not standard issue pirate captain characters.
And I really think John and I probably enjoyed it more than what most people online are saying, only because we watched the other ones, we watched it back to back, one day at a time. So I think if we let the other movies process for a few years and then we revisited this, we might have had less of an opinion on it. But in terms of stepping it up from the last two, that's why I'm here. But with that being said, there are some definite flaws that I couldn't help but notice. And the main flaw I have with the film, the main issue I have, is Captain Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp, no doubt, he's still funny. He makes you laugh.
Well, and he's a lot more present in this movie than in the fourth movie. I spent a lot of the fourth movie...
Yeah, he's more invested.
Actually kind of furrowing my brow, being like, he feels checked out. And in this movie, he doesn't feel checked out. He's not the first movie or the second movie's Jack Sparrow, but he has more of a rhythm, and he looks like he's more invested in playing the character again. With
that being said, though, the writing of his character has really gone downhill.
All the writing's gone downhill.
All the writing's gone downhill, but specifically with Jack. Because one thing, the first two, even three, I think, aspects of three, even three it does it for sure. What makes Jack so special is that he constantly comes across like he's just some dumb drunk pirate who you find out is really clever. There's always something that he does where you find out there's always something up his sleeve, which makes him mysterious, unpredictable, engaging. And as the franchise continues, he gets less mysterious, less unpredictable. And here, A, he just kind of is like the least essential to the entire plot. B, there's no mystery about him. It's like there never seems like there's something else up his sleeve. There never seems like there's something more going on. It's pretty much like, okay, here's what here's why we need Jack. All right, now he's there. And the worst part is that any crazy situation Jack gets into, he's either saved by other people or dumb luck. He doesn't do anything.
The laws of physics stop working in his favor. Like, you know?
Well, the thing is, it's like he never does something that shows, there's the clever Jack that we know. There's the smart Jack that we know, the one that could surprise us. Everything is all just, he's just a cartoon who gets saved by luck or other people doing his job.
He is especially a cartoon in this movie because he spends the first act of it like sloppy drunk, you know, as a gag.
Drunker than ever.
Yeah, like full on, to the point where I thought they were gonna make that like a real plot element. Like, oh, maybe your drinking is becoming a problem, Jack, because like you're actively screwing up a heist right now.
And the movie sets up his character in a way where you think, oh, they're fixing the thing that I had the biggest issue with in the fourth one, which is there's no emotional motivation or any room for Jack to grow. And then the way the film sets up Jack, where he's back to being on his own, his crew leaves him, and then you kind of don't even think about that anymore after that scene, you know?
Yeah, I thought they were going to do some kind of like Pastor Prime washed up story.
Yeah, but they don't.
They don't really, and the thing is, to me, I feel like that would have been a better way or a more interesting way to take it, because to me, I feel like you could make Jack Sparrow work, even as a lead character, if you just kind of treat him like Ash from Evil Dead. And thinking back to the other Pirates movies, like, I'm sure those movies were inspirations somewhere. But if you look at Ash, like, even though he's always the same kind of buffoony guy, he does change every time we check in on him, you know? And I feel like that would be a good idea for Jack Sparrow.
Absolutely, because Ash and Jack have a similar characteristic, which, like you said, buffoony. They're kind of dumb, but then they do something where you're like, that's why you're the hero of this movie or show, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But Johnny Depp in this one, he's just dumb. He's dumb. Like that. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's just a wacky character who sometimes gets to be badass because, and that's I don't know, like that's the biggest flaw in this phase of the Pirates movies for me all around. It's just all the edges are a bit dulled out. Like the dialogue isn't as interesting anymore. The production values aren't as high, although they do look better in this movie. Yeah. The color palette in this movie is better. Like everything looks better than the fourth one.
And compared to Stranger Tides, I think this is a step up from Stranger Tides.
Step up from Stranger Tides.
I could see you liking part 3 more. I would find it very hard to believe if you like On Stranger Tides more than this.
Yeah, it's like I felt like they split a lot of the differences. It's like the dialogue still isn't great, it's still really plotty, but it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you know, the pace is fine. Like they spend the first part of the movie doing kind of fun set pieces and stuff. Like there is fun stuff, and
the film's a tad bit shorter, like 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, you know, instead of 2 hours and 45 or something like that. At the end of the day, you know, it's a pretty okay block. To me, it played like a pretty okay blockbuster.
Yeah, it's not special and it's not magical, but in terms of a 5th installment for a franchise that was greatly dying, it's one of the better ones as of late.
It's weird to kind of come up with a consensus for this movie, because like I do see what everyone is saying. I'm not trying to argue with people's opinions on it, but I don't know, maybe just coming off like a thick binge, I'm like, I had a fine time here.
This is
like,
one of the easier ones to enjoy.
Exactly. And it brought, you know, a couple neat designs. It's still the same, like, Jack's looking for something. Okay, the British are also looking for that something. An eccentric pirate played by a great actor is looking for that something. Like, it's the same kind of formula. They do some cool supernatural stuff. The set pieces
there's
are
some
at least
exciting sequences, and there's some real laughs to be had.
and you know, they really make the villains menacing when they show up. And the designs of those guys are great. So it all comes down to, again, it's like Alien Covenant. It's like, what do I out of this? You know,
I would say it's enjoyable and entertaining. I wasn't bored.
Yeah. You might not remember it once you've left. It's not really distinct. But it's a fine time at the movies.
Yeah, for sure. And before we wrap up this video, I wanted to give a shout out to the man Aldrin D.
Aldrin D.
We recently launched some t-shirts over at shop.spreadshirt.com/therealrejects. And he bought 2 t-shirts and he sent us a photo. Here you go. There he is over there rocking the nipple chills one. That's my quote.
Keep it chill.
That's my quote right there. And there's John and I as the Devil's Rejects. There's no female in this group, so it's just the guys from the Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
John and Greg style. Aldrin D, thank you so much for being the first person to buy one of our shirts. I think Aldrin D's Filipino.
Airplanes.
He looks Filipino.
Does he?
Yeah. He looks like a cuddle bear.
Oh, like Spider-Man's friend.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Filipino chubby guy in Spider-Man Homecoming. All right, guys. Well, what'd you think of Dead Man Tell No Tales? What would you rank it as out of all 5 Pirates movies? What would you rank it as? You can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Check out Dat John Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram. Click that notification bell as well. Check out our exclusive perks and content over at Patreon. Have a good night.